Our goal was to create the kind of organizations that would outlast any of us. That we would be here, we would start it, we would build it, but then what we were building was something that would be stable and consistent for the community.
We have done more outreach in our community. More recently, we have enhanced our educational curriculum with the STEM program, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. I have the opportunity to visit our centers frequently and talk to the kids about what they want to do, and many of them now say, I want to be a scientist, I want to be an astronaut, which gives me great pleasure. The need has become greater to provide an array of services, especially to the 0 to 5 population, actually 0 to 18, but 0 to 5 specifically for us. And that is important to our mission to ensure that the agency provide these services so the children can succeed.
I don't worry about the children when they're at school. I know that they're in a good place. They're learning. When I pick them up, they're happy. There's no problems, and it's always and what I do like about Drew is that they work with each child on their level. They don't just have something that's this is what we're going to do. They work and think outside of the box when it comes to each one of the children. And I think that that's very important because some children, they have disabilities and they have anger problems. My son is one of them that he has anger problems, but they're actually able to work with them and on his levels.
Hi, I'm State Senator Holly Mitchell, representing the 30th District in Los Angeles. I had the pleasure of leading a sister agency in LA County, Crystal Stairs, for almost 10 years. And so Crystal Stairs and Drew Child Development really worked hand in hand to make sure that children in South Los Angeles had access to the highest quality early care and education programming, family daycare providers, centers available to them. So I worked alongside all of the leadership at Drew Development and was very proud to do so.
I think that Drew's been a real asset to the community. It's been able to help families, children, schools, other agencies. It's been able to assist with strengthening the community as a whole, and it's been able to provide families the different skills they need and knowledge they need and therapeutic interventions they need to help them function in a healthy way.
I could have chosen any other organization, any other private school, but I come from a family, and we're also raising my son. We believe in community because community is very influential in many things that a child sees and does. Also, community teaches togetherness. And with that being said, I know, I won't say I believe, I know because I've experienced it with my 4-year-old here at Drew. He has learned and he's adapted to the togetherness. You have a wide range of hours that your child can be in an educational environment, a learning environment. For children who come from a certain community or a certain area, stereotypes are inflicted on them. Drew allows those stereotypes to not be true. It gives each child an opportunity to see life through a different lens, and a lens that may be interesting to them. So it's opened those doors for my son for sure. When a 4-year-old picks up a book and he says, Mom, you have to be really careful with the books. Don't bend the spine of the book. Meaning that he could have easily said the side of the book, but the word spine means that someone at school has, because I've not taught him that word, someone at school has taught him that spine is not only in a human body, but it's also in a book. And he picked that up. Although I do my part at home with him, Drew has given so much also.
Partnerships have come to us, offers, because of the job I think we have done and collaborating with our various organizations.
So the most important thing in society is education. And the only way that we are going to break the cycle of poverty that affects areas like Watts and Willowbrook is if we invest in education. And DrewCDC is at the forefront of that fight. DrewCDC is the way that we can turn around a lot of problems that have been existing for a long time.
I feel deeply about the families in the 30th Senate District, families across the state, making sure that we as elected officials work hand in hand with nonprofit organizations like Drew Development to make sure that all children across the state have all the resources they need to thrive.
I go to work and I don't have to worry about my children. I know that they're in good hands. They're actually learning. It's not just a center that they're just babysitting.
When I talked to Gavin Newsom recently, who's running for governor of California, he told me that the number one predictor of whether somebody's going to end up in prison is the amount of words that they speak at age 3. That investing in kids and really young kids is the way to change future generations. And so investing in that, even though you may not see the results tomorrow or may not see the results in 5 years, 20 years down the road, when these kids could potentially end up in prison or potentially end up running for office, these kids that are here could be the leaders of our society and help change our country.
So my name is Kendrick Jones, and I am a former student of Drew Child Development Corporation. I was a student at DrewCDC from 1998 to 1999, and my grandfather was the facilities plant manager at Charles Drew University, and at the time DrewCDC was located in close proximity with the university, so my grandfather would work there, and that's how I eventually became a student. I was raised off of 75th and Central, and like I stated, my grandfather worked at Charles Drew University for 31 years, so every day after school I would go to CDU, and I would just hang out in this neighborhood, and I love Watts Willowbrook, so I figured that, once I was done with college, I should come back and, make a difference out here.
Once you meet the kids, once you see their smiles, once you hear their stories, once you see how your work can be a tangible difference, then you have no choice but to be invested in their success.
Well, I'd like to build on that legacy that the founders left. And they were so committed and focused on children and families, and that's me. It gives me great inspiration to think that I can help children succeed in this community.
In the next 30 years, I foresee that these services are going to expand further, and the Drew brand will be known. If there's a family in need, what will come to people's mind is, you need services from Drew, they'll help you out. They help so-and-so friend, so-and-so relative. And so the word of mouth will spread even further, and it'll be a place to go to kind of get emotional stability back in your life and get a kind of a better functioning, healthy family going.
Continue the good job that you're doing for our community and our children. That's basically it. I just continue to do what you're doing because they're doing a really good job.
There are a lot of kids in this community who don't have things that other kids in other communities have, and I feel as if DrewCDC fills that void. So just continue doing what it is that you guys are doing, and let's continue to make a difference in this community.
Children in what you would call underdeserved, or I like to say underdeserved rather than impoverished, communities. And I say that because people who live in these communities are not all impoverished or underdeserved, namely my son. He's not. But he still needs to be aware of where he comes from, and he needs to be proud of that. And Drew has allowed him in his early years to be proud of where he comes from, because there is good education here. Drew has taught him that sometimes you may have to take the stairs through life, but if you keep climbing those stairs, you'll get there. And he's grasping that from Drew.
I think what Dr. Jackson has done is an inspiration for the rest of the community. He's dedicated his life to service and dedicated his life to making the children and the most vulnerable among us stronger. He is a model for the rest of us to follow. And when you see all of the faces of over the years, all the kids that have prospered because of his work, that is his legacy, and it's a tremendous legacy. So I'm grateful that he's mentored me. I'm grateful that he's mentored all these kids. and I'm proud to be working alongside of them.
California is the 6th largest economy in the world. And it's the young people that Drew Child Development currently serves are going to be the future leaders for this state. And so that's why I think early care and education has got to be at the top of everyone's priority list. It certainly is mine, and why I love to continue to have a partnership with Drew Child Development.
When I think back at when we started, part of that whole notion around building financial stability such that the organization would be there was to make sure that the community had the services that it needed for however long. But when I see what's happening today in urban inner cities across the nation, when I see the issues that our young people, that our families that are dealing with in communities, that yes, Drew is definitely needed today.